I noticed some really good AI programs, but again, part of me feels like it's diminished the importance of being an artist and probably put a lot of fantasy artists out of work immediately. You know, it's just like, boop, whatever. I'll just create my own spacey image, you know? Yeah. No, because it becomes a very heated discussion as to whether AI is going to be considered real art. Because, you know, there's that concept of AI artists. I'm an AI artist. You strung together a series of sentences. I don't know if that, maybe you could be a poet, you know? You know, I know a lot of artists do this. A lot of artists will just take a picture off the internet and that's their underpainting. I'm painting from this. This is it. It's okay to use as a reference, but I guarantee you in the future already there's going to be issues because there was one example, an artist took a photo that this person made from Twitter, flipped it. They flipped it, chat. They reversed it. They painted it over it and submitted it to an art contest. And they won. However, the person who took the original photo sued them. So, I don't know if they actually sued or they filed a complaint with the art contest thingy. Whatever it is, somebody stole somebody else's work. It's only a matter of time because as AI gets better, we've discussed this before on Twitch, as AI gets better, so will the bots who can now pick out what parts have been stolen from other artworks. And that's where it's going to get legally dicey. Create your own work, is what I'm saying. Create your own work. There's nothing wrong with using references. And if you're starting out as an artist, even tracing helps you learn how to do stuff. Fine. Everybody used to do that when they first started. I'm going to trace this. Look, I drew it. You know, that's not how that works. You know, on a professional level. Because inevitably, dude, it even happened with emotes on Twitch. They had to create a program where you would upload your emote to see if other channels stole it. Surprisingly, a lot of emotes were stolen on Twitch. Yeah. And then they ended up getting DMCAs and that affects their account. Work with your own stuff. That's it. If you're going to learn anything that's it. Work with your own stuff. In the future, it may not matter, but it's better to stay ahead of the curve. And again, I feel like IP bots are going to be a thing that are just going to scan every piece of artwork ever made. And they're going to be like, you stole this. Because this is like 98% similar to that. They do that with music. Why wouldn't they do it with art? It's just a thing. You have to make the painting 20% different from the original. According to who? 20% different? I feel like that wouldn't work in a court of law. And 20% varies depending on what lawyer is representing the prosecuting team. You know what I'm saying? The complainants. So, you know, your 20% could be 90% and somebody would still sue you. Yeah. Do you think it's a trend of look what technology can do more so than a long-term thing that people will use? I will say whatever is cheaper. You want to know why? Because say you're a novelist, right? You're a novelist. You wrote out a novel. It's a wonderful novel. It's a space sci-fi kind of novel. You need an artist to make a riveting cover that will grab the attention of readers. Okay. What you could do is go and hire an artist or maybe do a 1-month subscription to an AI thing for like $20 and get 100 different versions of a cover that you can use in perpetuity, royalty free. Don't worry about it, whatever. So if you're a writer and you can write up something like very, whatever, astral plane, nebula, spacecraft, alien, disfigured, dismembered, severed arm, etc., etc., etc. You come up with that. It happens to generate something that is very fantasy looking, very sci-fi, and for $20, you can use it. Or you can pay an artist 50, 60, 100, thousands of dollars depending on royalty, licensing. How many times is it going to be reprinted? Is it going to be a physical thing? Are you buying the copyright to it? It's a mess. It literally is a mess, because you can use somebody's artwork. Licensing it doesn't mean you own the copyright to it. So you license it for a book cover, but you know what? They still own the rights and can make t-shirts from it. It's insane, just the little nuances of agreements. So if it comes to like agreement free, here you go, you can use it, this is yours, the AI generated it for you, for your account, it's basically yours. There you go, it's yours. It's yours, you're done. No royalties, no legalities. You don't got to worry about being sued because it was AI generated. What are the robots going to sue you? No, you're fine. There you go. So I think that will be long-term for people who don't want to deal with artists. And I find that artists either undervalue their work or overvalue their work. There's never a happy medium, you know? Hey, can you make a series of emotes for me? Oh, yeah, it'll be like $5,000. What? Well, you got a big channel. I got 100 people watching me. What are you talking about? Well, you know, a lot of people are going to use it. Hey, can you make some emotes for me? Yeah, I can make you about 30 of them, but it'll be like $10. Is that okay? $10? Yeah. So that's kind of the thing, you know? Art is a commodity. Make no mistake. Art is a commodity. Yeah, it's a way to express yourself and whatnot, but it is a commodity. It's a product that companies will look at to use. And if they can get it cheaper, they will. That's why a lot of animation jobs have gone elsewhere where people get paid like garbage. That's what it is. You know how much time, blood, sweat, and tears goes into making an animation? I do. And it all just gets shipped off to somebody who will do it for less because they don't care, generally. Basically, it's the bottom line. Whatever's the cheapest, you know? And once, you know, AI gets to the point where it can add CGI in and, you know, all sorts of AI explosions, blah, 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 and it's more automated and you don't even need an artist for that, they'll go with that. They'll be fine with it. Companies don't care. It's cheap. Cheap, 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 you know? What are your thoughts on the current AI art? Seems every artist are not happy with it. I've never been a very good artist, so I feel like AI is going to come out with good art. So I'm not terribly worried because I was never there to begin with. So I don't consider it competition, as my art is what? It's goofy. You do goofy stuff, you know? Like, I mean, quite literally. Dude, look, look at this. Do you think AI is going to want to do this? You know? You think AI cares about this? Weird little cartoons? Little pumpkin puppets? My weird face? So, and here's the thing. We have an IP, so that's pretty beneficial, you know? No, because if some schmuck decides to AI your squirrel and just is like, oh, we're gonna make Foamy shirts because I made it in AI. No, I'm gonna sue you now, thanks. And quite literally, don't think I won't. You know how people are protective of their children? Can AI even have a specific style? You can always tell who did the art based on the style. Yeah, but styles are basically a series of brushstrokes. That's all it is. If you break that down to its, you know, core numeric values, things will be very similar. Like, you know, your older stuff had a very Tim Burton Simpsons quality to it, right? Because those were like your main influences growing up. So inevitably, it's like, it's all going to start looking the same after a while. You know? It's those big googly eye kind of characters and a lot of scratchy lines. Foamy in the style of Rembrandt or Van Gogh. Yeah. See, something like that I could do. Like, hypothetically, right? Going back to AI art. I could do one or two things. Because this is an interesting aspect as far as business goes, because you own an IP, right? Hypothetically, say we wanted to make a poster of Foamy the squirrel done in the style of Rembrandt, right? We could just type that up It would come out. It would look excellent. Or I can hire somebody to do it. From a business standpoint, it's easier to have the AI do it. You know, from a moral standpoint, you would want to, you know, hire another artist. You know, so it kind of depends. There you go. You know, and with the thing, it's like, okay, if you hire an artist and you want corrections made, that's a lot more work. For AI, you can just re-queue the request and get something completely different. So honestly, and this is coming from somebody who likes art and likes to draw, artists, when it comes to certain things like that, are going to be considered very inefficient. It's going to be an efficiency issue at that point, you know? All right. It's like Andy Warhol. For those who don't know Andy Warhol, he quite literally had a art manufacturing thing going on. A bunch of artists would do like silk screening of his work, and all he would do would sign it. There you go. Signed it. It's an Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol. Over and over and over again. Did none of the work, just signed it. And that was back then in like what, the 60s, 70s? You know, now you do that with AI. Yep, I typed out those words, sign it. Typed out those words, sign it, sign it, sign it, sign it. It's not going to mean anything. It really won't. You know, if you're an artist, and I would say if you're going to watch anything by me, watch the thing I did on AI. Like, what was it? AI, end of whatever, some AI BS. Again, own your own IP. Create your own stuff. If you're an artist, create your own stuff. Because then you have something. Having talent now doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. It's sad, but it's true. It's sad, but it's true. Being talented as a musician, as an artist, as a vocalist, all that stuff, think long term. Maybe not even in the next 10 years, maybe not even in the next 20. But between AI deepfakes, AI art, AI avatars, acting, all that stuff. Human talent is not going to have the importance that it used to. Think of that long term. But this is where you have to turn into business mode. You have an IP that is yours. It is yours. And this is that. Remember we were talking about the really hard class earlier that they had at NYU that kind of shakes out the people that can't hack it? You know what I'm saying? This is what AI is going to do to artists. For all those artists that have an incredible amount of talent, thousands times better than I am, who are just doing fan art based on IPs they don't own. You know what? Because anyone who would have commissioned you in a couple of years, all right, nude Princess Peach, yes. It's true. It's true. See the writing on the wall. Okay? So that's going to be a thing. However, if you have an original IP, if you're doing that stuff now, just gear up for the future. Gear up for the future. Start creating your own stuff. It's yours. It's your content. It's actually your content. Not inspired by, not a commission, an homage, whatever. Okay? Robots will be able to do that. It really will. And before you know it, even the creative people, robots are going to be able to formulaically put something together. However, you still have yours. You know what I'm saying? So keep it in mind, as much as I appreciate talent and I wish I had a fraction of some of the talent I have seen out there on the internet, it's not going to mean anything. It really won't. It really won't. And it's sad, but it's true. You know, I really feel like I've seen really good stuff. I'm trying to think of, oh God, where is it? I actually want to look it up. Okay. This was the one that was actually pretty good. You ready? Okay. It's going to look a little gruesome, but it was AI generated. Now, if I asked an artist Any artist, a well-trained artist, excellent artist, make me an image of, and this was by Midjourney, okay? It's in a program called Midjourney. Make me an artist of the last selfie ever taken. Dude, this was put together in minutes by AI. Minutes, if not less. If I asked an artist to do this, if I made a novel called The Last Selfie Ever, and this was the cover of it, I would be 100% happy with it. 100% happy. This is just one, okay? Where are the other ones? Look at this. This is actually disturbing. This is AI doing this. This isn't an underpainting. This isn't somebody saying, oh, let me actually zoom in a little bit if I can. This, as a piece of art, is freaking amazing. Last selfie ever taken. It's accurate. And I think just as good as some real traditional artists could do in a fraction of the time without the legal baggage attached to it. So keep this in mind. I have never been this good as an artist. I never will be. I could do a really goofy, cartoony version of it, right? But let's see what else. This one's a little warped. Kind of weird. And I see what they did there. It's like a nose stuck from something else. Still kind of grotesque, right? This one, scary AF. Bruh. That is scary. Like, if somebody says the end of the world is nigh and they just took a picture of this, dude, that is scary. That is scary. It's grotesque. And it's probably visually more effective than most traditional artists can do. The world is quite literally burning, and this person just took a picture and was obliterated at that instance. This is a very good piece of generated artwork. It really is. You know? This is actually frightening. Look at that. And I could see where you have that Dave McKean kind of photoshopping almost going on here. But that's freaky. That's freaky, you know? Like, this guy is just literally, their face is burning off as they take that picture, and they are shocked by what's going on there, right? From an artistic standpoint, if you look at this, the AI generated emotion in there, and the fear in the eyes, still, even though it's AI generated, it conveys more emotion than I would require from a traditional artist if I needed a picture like this. It's scary. It's grotesque. And I'm worried about what's happening here. So I don't know what else is here. No, okay, that's about it. But like, some of these are insanely good, you know? And this is now. Keep in mind, this is now. Give it, what, 5-10 years? Forget about it, dude. Forget about it. And I knew an actual artist. He was older. He was more of an instructor at that point. This guy, he was that artist that went through wars, okay? He went through wars. He was an artist. All of his stuff was basically derivative of the grotesque horrors of war, okay? And if the guy died, okay, so it doesn't matter. And his work was very grotesque, and it came from a real place. But if I showed him this stuff and didn't tell him it was AI generated, I guarantee you he would be like, dude, who is this? This is terrifying. This is like, bro, he not knowing that it was a robot would be in utter disbelief because he was old school. right? However, after I reveal that it's actually an AI generated piece of art, bro's going to look like this. Like, he's going to be worried about the state of his existence because the horrors of war or fear or just catastrophe and disaster being embodied in an image, robot can do it. And this is somebody who went through war, and they would probably still find this terrifying. You know? So, that's the thing. However, if you own the IP to this guy, you know, you'd be all right. But let's go to something happy. Hey, anime. So that's kind of like, that's a thing to keep in mind as an artist. It's super important. Just know that that is the state of technology. Whether you're a young artist or an older artist, know that you're going to have competition, and all the jobs that you think you would have gotten from people who actually care about art, that care about original art is slowly going away. You know, it really is. You know, people generally don't buy artwork anymore. They'll buy a print. That's not art. It's a copy of art. For that, you print screen, you just print it out. Yeah. But whatever. Look, League of Legends. You know, what, you consider yourself an artist. Well, you consider yourself a doodler. He's a doodler. All right. He has fun with it. And that's the thing. If you're going to be an artist, you have to do it for fun and because you have a passion for it. Not because you're out to make money, because the robots are going to be taking that soon. Keep that in mind. Have a backup job like carpentry, plumbing, and the essential utilities that people need. Electrician, all that stuff. You know, I generally feel, and that's coming from an artist. It's coming from an artist. So heed my words. I don't think people should be going to expensive colleges to learn art anymore. I really don't. I would say take a couple of classes. You want to learn life drawing? Take a life drawing class. You want composition study? Watch a VOD, you know? But generally, and I don't want to discourage people from doing art because I love art, you know? But I would just say be realistic about it, you know? And that's one of those things that we were always told. Dude, anytime told people you wanted to do art as a kid, oh, that's difficult. Oh, that's going to be, you can't make a living doing art. And this is some people from within his own family that are supposed to be encouraging, you know? A lot of that stuff, they were very realistic. And that's why I'm realistic. Because there's not a lot of money to be made in art. Unless you have your own IP. You were fortunate enough to want to create something for yourself, you know? And he grew up doing fan art, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You got your scroll going, blah, blah, blah. I'm here, the pumpkin's there, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. So it's important. IP is key to survival. So, but whatever. Be realistic. I know as an artist, having your head in the clouds all the time is kind of your thing, but you know, same goes for us. But it's not practical. It's not pragmatic. Yeah. Even graphic art designers too. Everything. Everything. Be prepared for everything to be taken over by AI. Because graphic artists are very good at composition, color selection. Yo, I got an app that will show me corresponding complementary colors. Boop. There it is. I need a color that goes with this. Boop. Oh, that one. Boop. Oh, this one. Even the concept of color theory is moot at this point. It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. I like to have that forethought in my head. I can look at colors and pick out the Pantone colors by number. Okay? If I look at a 427C, I'll know it's a 427C. I'll be relatively close to it. That doesn't mean anything now. It doesn't mean anything. You know, we got a lot of real world experience that's getting Thanos snapped by AI. So no, it is what it is. But you know, you adapt, you move forward. That's all. But anyway, again, I'm not putting out all the AI art to be pessimistic. And I know a lot of people, when you discuss the concept of that, it turns out to be very pessimistic. But it's being more realistic. And sometimes that does have an air of pessimism about it, but at least it prepares you for what's happening.